Yeah. We're going to talk about classification of vegetables, if this works. So we're going to call it classification. If that's a bit wet, it needs to be dry. Right? And it's important that you know this, because it will help you. Oh, do a favour. Right, can you go up, Jen, if she can swap that one for it. Let's see if this one writes. I have so many in my locker, I don't know why. Right, so look at that classification. Right? Classification. I remember last year I found a video on YouTube. If I find that video, I might stick it on Google Classroom. It's a children's video, but it was really helpful because it gave you all the different classifications. And it will, sometimes, I'm going to tell you guys, sometimes watching a little cartoon or a picture, it helps you to remember. It's nothing to do.
I'm learning Spanish in YouTube videos.
Yeah?
The kids ones, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right? So we're going to start off with, I'm just going to start with where I remember. So we've got tuber, we've got stem. I know it's not alphabetical order. It's as I root.
T-O ولا to-you? T-you.
Root. And we've got fruit. And we've got leaves, and we've got fungi. One, two, three, four, five. And we've got bulb, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this is. There might be more, but this is what I remember at the moment, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a vegetable beside each one of these classifications, yeah? So if I go like this, tuber, potato, starch, stem, celery, root. Let me give you a very obvious one. Beetroot, and it's normally vitamins, water-based, fruit, peppers, seeds, leaves, cabbage, fungi, mushrooms, bulb is onion. Now, right, with bulbs, they are either in segments or layers. Yeah? So, segments as in garlic comes in segments, or onion, which comes in layers. Yeah? This is how you recognize all these wonderful fruits, right? Now, why is pepper a fruit vegetable? Because it's not as sweet as a fruit. Yeah? It's not as sweet as a fruit, so it's a vegetable, but because it's got the seeds in it, like apples and oranges and everything, so it's classed as a fruit vegetable. So you've got tomatoes, cucumbers, courgettes, all come under fruit. Potato is a starch vegetable and it grows underground. So another starch vegetable would be something like yam, right? Cassava, sweet potatoes, Jerusalem artichoke, all come under tuber. Stem, celery, because you eat the stalk, right? I should put stalk. You eat the stalk.
How about spring onions? Are they stems?
Spring onion is, I'll come to that one, and leeks, we'll come to that one.
Okay.
Right, so celery is a stalk because you eat the stalk. Another stalk was asparagus. Root, it grows under the ground, and it's the root that you eat, which is the vegetable. So another root is turnip, parsnip, not rhubarb, it was a fruit. Turnip, parsnip, swede, carrot. You getting it? Right? But I said they're water-based because the difference between a root and a tuber is starch, and a root vegetable is water-based. Yeah? Tubers you cannot really eat, you need to cook the starch. Root vegetables you can eat raw. They don't always taste great, but they can be eaten raw. Yeah? You can digest basically whatever you can digest. Right? When your stomach can break down, you can be eaten raw.
And tomatoes be considered
Is a fruit.
Yeah.
It's a fruit. So you've got tomatoes, cucumbers, courgettes, yeah? All fruit vegetables.
Lettuce.
Huh?
Lettuce.
Lettuce is leaf. And another leaf would be spinach. Yeah? Leaf vegetables, yeah?
Yeah.
And you eat, and so you eat the leaves, right? Mushrooms, fungi. Why they're called fungi, I have no idea, right? But let's go back to spring onions and leeks, right? Now, a bulb is either layers or segments, and leeks and spring onions are related, and shallots are all related to onions, yeah? So, because it's got layers. So, although it's long, you can eat the stem, but if you look at it, it's still in layers, isn't it? Just like leek, it's still in layers. So that is why it comes under the onion family. Yeah? You got that?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So that's right. First thing we need to do is to what? Wash. Yeah. So I'm going to need a colander, please. Yeah, so I wash my lovely vegetables. Delicious. And remember, when you're washing the vegetables, what don't you do? You don't let the water drip. So you put it in something because we have to look after ourselves and each other. Yeah? So here we go. That's it. Right, so I've got two different types of cabbage.
Yeah.
Right? Put that away, Colin. Right. I've got, this is called the Savoy cabbage.
Sorry?
Savoy.
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 Right.
I don't really eat that.
Let me, yeah, so if I write down this cabbage, I've got the Savoy and green round. Or actually it's called a white cabbage, that one there. The other one, it's not white, it's green round, but it's called white. So you've got the Savoy and you've got the white cabbage, right?
That's what?
Yeah. The Savoy cabbage is the one that you normally use for cooking,
Yeah.
right? And the white cabbage is the one you normally use for salads, like
Yeah.
coleslaw.
Sandwiches and whatever you want.
No.
Braised stuff the other day.
Coleslaw. However, right,
I use it for my
this is a more common one.
Yeah.
So in schools and stuff like that, this is one you must probably find on the plate.
I use
So you can eat it, right? Let me show you how to prepare them.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Before that, how do you preserve this, for it to last longer? I mean,
Put it in dark.
If you want to preserve it, depends on what you want to preserve it for.
yeah, for salads, I use them sometimes for my sandwiches,
You can cut it and put it in
Right.
the
Now there is different ways of preserving white cabbage. The most common way is to shred it up, which I'm going to show you. Mix it with carrot and keep it in coleslaw and keep it in mayonnaise. Right. That will keep it 2 or 3 days, depending. Right. If you cook it, you can't put it in sandwiches.
No.
That will also keep it for 2 or 3 days. The other way which is, I think it's more Polish. It's called sauerkraut, where as you shred the cabbage and you pickle it in vinegar, and that will keep it for a longer length of time. Yeah. However, it does become very vinegary, so that's an acquired taste. So that is how you preserve lettuce, cabbage. What you want to use for sandwiches isn't cabbage; it's lettuce.
I like to use this.
It is very acquired. It's very acquired, but yeah, as I said before, you can use it in, but okay, right.
So that's why it's for cooking.
So this one, they're both for cooking.
Yeah.
But this one is common for salad.
Yeah.
This one is not.
I cook in this
Because
one
I
in my
cook that
country.
one.
I didn't say you can't cook it. I didn't say you can't cook this one. I'll say this one is more common.
I cook it. I put it rice and meat.
Anyway,
and
right. So
but it's different.
go down and you'll see there's a stem there.
Yeah.
Right? Now I need to get that stem out like that. I'll take it down. I take out the outer leaves because the outer leaves are very, very tough. And then I can just shred this cabbage. Now with this cabbage here, it grows over ground. You would place it in boiling water, boiling salt water. So you put the water on first, you let it salt, you put the cabbage in for about a minute or two, and you take it out, and then you put it in some melted butter, season it with salt and pepper, and you serve it as a side vegetable. Yeah? This is how you shred cabbage. Right? This one, which is the more common one, this is one you must probably get in like schools and hospitals, and it's cheaper. And this is one you must probably see more in like green grocers, what have you. It's cheaper, and it's more common. Once again, I'm going to cut it. Yeah, make sure the knife is nice and sharp. The bigger the knife, the better. So, do that. Now, this one here, because of the size, if I cut it in half, I want to get too big a portion. However, if I'm going to braise the cabbage, I'll cut it in half, like that. You know what I mean by braise?
I think I done it the other day. I cooked the chicken pie in the books when you do it in the stock, yeah?
When you cook it in the stock, and you cover it, maybe just slowly cook it in the oven.
Very nice.
Braised food, whether it's meat or vegetables, they're normally cooked whole, or in big portions. Yeah, in big portions. So if I'm going to braise that, I'll keep the root on.
Is that right?
Right? Yeah, because you take it off after. No, you know,
Taste it, right?
it's traditional to keep it in. So like I'd cut it there, and I'd keep the root on, and maybe I'd remove the root after I cook it. Yeah. If I'm going to shred it, I get rid of the root. And then I cut it to the size I want it. And then you'll see, yeah, this is called shredded cabbage, yeah? This is good for coleslaw and stuff like that. If I want it for vegetables, I'll cut it thicker. Yeah? So it depends on what I want to use it for, is how I cut it. So I'm just going to show you. Once again, this one will go into boiling water because it grows over ground. However, you would cook it for a little bit longer than the Savoy. Yeah? The Savoy's got softer leaves, this has got more firm leaves. So if you cook the Savoy for about a minute or two, you'll cook this one definitely for about 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah? Well, 3 minutes.
This one, 3 minutes.
No. 2 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Maybe 4. Right? This one is common in stir fry. Alright? So, what you guys are going to do today, you're going to get a bit of cabbage, whether you like it or not. Right, so I place the chiffonade, which is this finely shredded Savoy cabbage, into boiling water, and then I bring it to the boil. What did I forget to do? Right, so I'll talk about the measurements and everything like that. You always use a tool. It won't matter. Right, it's just a little bit of salt water in there. It's not going to really salt it too much. Yeah, because when I finish with it, I'm going to refresh it, and then later on, I'm going to melt some butter, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and then finish it off in the salt and the butter. Yeah. So we'll have buttered cabbage, right, which is yeah, it's very nice, and it's not overcooked. It's quite crunchy. It's something that you may not like it. You may like it. It is something. It's nice if you slice some onions and slice some garlic, smash it off, do the cabbage that way, and then add it to that. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, maybe some crushed chili peppers. No. So that as a side dish, it's very nice, you know what I mean? And I would eat that just like that. No, nothing else. No meat, no nothing. Good for me. Yeah. I like certain vegetables. I like courgettes, aubergines, cabbage, certain kind of way, spinach. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, I'm recording again. So what I'm going to do now, I'll put the white cabbage in there now. Now, so the Savoy cabbage takes about 2 to 3 minutes. No, is it 1 to 2 minutes? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then one, is it 2 to 3?
3 to 4.
Yeah, 3 to 4. That's the one. You know what I'm saying? But it's quicker than that. That's about 1 to 2.
This one is harder.
Yeah. This one's a little bit more tougher, so you give it just a little bit longer, but not too much. Yeah. So once that comes to the boil, again, what I'm going to do is take it out, refresh it, then I can toss it in a little bit of butter. What I might do a bit of mixture. Why not? You know what I mean? Cabbage and cabbage, and
Yeah, of course.
you know, it will taste groovy. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take it out.
Well, is it up to 3 minutes?
I'm sure it
Yeah,
is.
the water is hot already.
I'm sure it is.
Yes. Not saying.
I know. Right, and then we just stick it into to refresh it. Yeah. And because this is I'm going to surprise you now. Because it took so long for the water to boil, I'm going to do something different. Right, I'm going to recycle the water. Right, simple as like this. Just recycle it. All right, gently does it. All right, I pour the water back into here. Strain off all the cabbage in there. Right, and then when I'm ready to cook my pasta, when I'm ready to cook my pasta, use the water again, just like that.
Your pasta.
The pasta we're going to cook later on. Yeah, because otherwise, get the cold water, get it to reboil. Do we have the time for
Yeah,
that?
but it smells.
Because I've got a piece of cabbage here already. Why not? Just do a quick demonstration. White mirepoix. The salt. that will then become the stock. Yeah? Garlic, onion. Like that. Into the oven. Right, maybe a little bit of oil in there. Oil or butter? Doesn't matter.
Water.
What's that?
This is just a basic stock.
No, I mean, what was that stuff?
Oil. Pass the foil, please.
He said enough oil or butter.
Oil or butter, it won't matter.
Oh, oil or butter.
Yeah, oil or butter.
We should oil butter.
Alright, and then cover it with foil. And then it won't take long. Maybe 45 minutes or something like that. Yeah?
At what temperature?
I'm going to put it about 140 in the oven. Temperature. Time. I'll put that. Let's start with 20 minutes. Let's put 20 minutes. Go with test that 20 minutes. There you go. So we're gonna have braised cabbage and not stir fry, but saute cabbage. What is saute?
Slightly fried.
Shallow fried. Do something. Yeah. So that is it. Yeah. So far. Right. So I'm gonna do a quick macaroni cheese. Right. Butter. First you melt the butter. Got my whisk. When the butter's melt, you're going to add the flour. Right, so I need 250 millilitres of milk. Right, which is approximately 1/4. Approximately, yeah? It might take a little bit more. So, once the butter's melted, I'm going to add the flour and let the flour soak up the butter. There you go. Yeah? Like that. Then, if my measurements is correct, it should take a little at a time. And you start to stir. Once the butter and the flour soaks up the milk, swap over and start to use a whisk. That way you get rid of any lumps. Right, and I'll show you in a minute what you're looking for. See that there? The best one to use really is the electric, but you can use the gas as long as you work together and move quickly. Right. I think 250 millilitres is about right. Yep. So it's starting to smooth. Yeah? But it's still a bit thick. Right? So when I add the rest of the milk to it, slowly it will become a nice smooth sauce. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the Worcestershire sauce and the mustard.
Is that like just like a cheesy sauce?
It's a cheese sauce.
So you could actually use that on other stuff as well?
Yeah. So I'll use up all the milk now. Then I'm going to put all that in there. I haven't got a spoon, so excuse my fingers. Now the Worcester sauce and the mustard, it brings up the flavour. Yeah? So, just give me a second. And then I can add half of the cheese. So a little whisk. Then I can add my cheese. I'm going to keep half to sprinkle it on the top to gratinate it. Well, half-ish. Yeah? At this stage, there should be some salt and pepper that was floating around with a spoon. Where is it gone? Look at that. Nice and silky smooth. Yeah? I can then add a little teeny bit of salt because I haven't added any seasoning to it yet. Right. Just a little bit of salt and pepper in there. A little bit. Mix it in. And then I'm going to add the macaroni cheese to it. So I can add the macaroni cheese, drain it, add it to the sauce. Should be nice. And then I'm going to add that to the dish. You're going to put it back into that dish there, yeah? That's why I measured it out that way. Mix it in. And just add it to the dish. Hopefully it will fit in. It's a bit too much, that's alright. Last but not least, the sprinkling on the top. And then I'm going to set that into the oven 5-10 minutes to brown off. And voila! There you go. So now you do the same.
Okay.
Right, so we've done the macaroni and we use a roux sauce. Half flour, half butter and milk, yeah? Now, what I've done is I've braised the vegetables in a very plain, what is called cooking liquor. Just stock, and then I'm going to thicken it, right? So, to thicken it, I'm not going to use flour and butter. I'm going to use a little bit of corn flour. When you're using corn flour, you must mix it into cold liquid. If I put it into a hot liquid, it will just cake up and it won't thicken. A lot of people make that mistake. So just mix it like that.
Sorry, can we also use potato flour? As a
It's,
thickener?
you can use as a thickener.
Yeah.
I've melted my bar. I'm going to toss the cabbage in the butter in a minute. So you watching? I'm going to turn it up. When that boils, then I'm going to add my corn flour. Use that one. Right, get it mise en place once again. Right, so got my macaroni cheese. It should be nice and warm. Nice and warm in there. Right. It's going to, as soon as that boils, I'm going to add the corn flour. I don't need it too thick. Alright. I just need it a little bit thicker. Now, somebody asked, what is this liquid? This is the liquid that the cabbage was cooked in. Alright. So you braise the cabbage, and when you thicken it, it's called a cooking liquor. Meaning that it was thickened with the same liquid it was cooked in. Hopefully it will thicken a little bit. More corn flour in there. It's a little bit more.
How many grams of the corn flour you need?
Just use your
About 10 grams. Less than 10 grams, 5 grams.
Okay.
Right.
How comes you're sticking it in that? 'Cause I thought you said it had to be cold water.
Ah, it's, you see what I just done? When I spin it around, I cooled it down. You feel it?
Just like that.
Yeah, it's not hot.
That quick.
Yeah, if it was boiling hot, it would
Oh,
cake,
right.
it would cake up. Yeah, so somebody's watching, somebody's paying attention, eh? So once this starts to thicken, I'll take this off and I'll just toss the cabbage in the butter. So it won't be long. And at least you get to see the braised cabbage, yeah? So I can take out that. That's nice and warm. I can take this out. Left-handed. As you can see, that's nicely calculated. Yeah. And you see the cooking liquor? Not too thick.
sorry, what was
Oh,
in the
little
pan
bit.
before you started adding the thickener?
It was just the water that the cabbage was cooked
From
in.
the oven, that,
Strain it off,
yeah.
add the thickener, and there's your braised cabbage.
Cold liquid.
Very nice. Very simple. And for someone like me, very healthy. I'm not supposed to have
Yeah.
carbohydrate. Oh, you know. Anyway, so once again,
What's that?
I'll just heat up the cabbage now. There should be some salt and pepper somewhere.
Pepper?
No, that's good. Right, I'm gonna do a mix, you
Salt
know.
in here, this
Right. Get the pan nice and hot. And just fry the cabbage. Mix it with the savoy.
Which one?
Once again, for me, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too much. We did put a little bit of salt in the cabbage when it was boiling, yeah?
No.
And there you have it.
Did you need to measure the butter again?
No,
It doesn't matter,
It
just
doesn't
place
matter.
it, yeah.
A little bit. You know,
Yeah.
just enough. All right, there you go. And there we have buttered cabbage, braised cabbage, and macaroni cheese. What can I say? Good, no? Wow. Let's have a little look. Bon appetit, I tell you. Right, cool.